Does not need to. How about now?
Still presenter mode.
I don't know what to do. No, no, no. Oh my God, no. No, 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 no. Ah, I don't know. I don't know how to do this, I guess. Okay. Hmm. Should I? I don't know. Should I just share my screen like this? I don't want to. Not everyone. How about this? If I do this, is it better? Hey. Like if I just share my screen like this, because I don't know why it's doing this. How about if I just share my screen like this? Is this easier?
This works.
All right, this works. All right, let's do this then. Then it's not confusing. Sorry, I don't know what happened to my slides. All right. So again, welcome everyone to those who just signed in. Today is our final session, so good job, you've all made it. We'll be covering Missouri Driver's Guide, chapters 12 through 15 today. And so these chapters cover vehicle titling and registration, mandatory insurance, safety and mission inspections, and commercial vehicles. I think I will fly through the last one, the commercial vehicles, pretty quickly. And then since it doesn't pertain to a lot of us, but for testing and like exam taking purposes, you know, you should still have some ideas. Okay, so nope, next slide. All right. So yeah, I just said this, and then at the end we'll have a Q&A, and then that's when at the end of chapter 15, Abigail can share our attendance link. So again, I said this earlier, but I will make these videos all available for you to review, and then I said this in my email today, so you if you can mute yourself, that would be very helpful so we don't hear a lot of echoing. So you would have we recommend you trying to take your permit, your written exam next week in order for you to have enough time during Mizzou to get your driving practice in. But obviously it's really up to your readiness. So if you are not able to get it in by next week, you can still sign up for lessons. And I also want to make sure that everybody understand that like after our Mizzou 2 driving lessons, and you, I mean, you're not obligated to take your license exam anytime. You can take it whenever you're ready. And so we just, our program will run through the end of June, but you know, obviously really it's up to your readiness. So don't feel the pressure. If you're not ready, just take some more time, make arrangement to practice more. But so what I meant in my email is that it will be most helpful for you in order for you to schedule through our driving field practice sessions, as much as we can help you, is to take your license test, your permit test next week. So then you'll be able to be scheduled. Okay, so I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page in that. All right, cool. Why? All right, so chapter 12 talks about vehicle titling and registration. So this is when you have already bought a car. Yay. So so when you've bought a new vehicle, talks about the importance of titling and registration. The time frame of titling is 30 days. You have to get your car titled and register within the 30-day of purchase, or I think there is a fine if you don't do that. And then we'll talk about some of the cost and penalty, required documents, and then there's some special case for out-of-state vehicles. So me and myself, I'm from the great state of California. Yay. So when I first moved here, my car was a California car. And so there are some people, sometimes you drive on the road, you see cars from other states. So there are rules and regulations for that as well. Yeah. Okay. So titling your vehicle, it's very, very important. For new vehicles purchased in the state of Missouri, you will need to that basically when you buy the car, they will need to provide you with a manufacturer statement of origin, so where the car came from, signed title or signed application for a title. So if you bought it brand new from a dealership that have this, or if you bought it from someone else, they will have to sign the title over to you. Then you can get your own title to apply for the car to be titled under your name. And then you'll have to um and then the payment for the different taxes and fees. So it is important if you bought a used car, a signed title with the odometer reading, so the mileage, and then proof of insurance are required for you to go and get it titled. Out of state vehicles, there will be like additional documentations like current title or registration will be needed. So if you bought a car from like say a different state, like someone from different state, or like a dealership from a different state, then they will have to give you basically they will have to issue it from their state, but then when you come to Missouri, you will have to transfer that here. So these things, when you go to the DMV, or you can call them if you have this particular out of state situation, you'll have to call the DMV and they'll let you know. Particularly, every other state have their own regulations, so this would be a good thing to call the DMV and find out what are some regulations for those states and our state and how it works. Okay, so and then after you have titled your vehicle, then you will register for your vehicle. What that means is that you would just get a license plate, a Missouri license plate, and a year tab. So sometimes when you see, I should have included a picture, but you will see a license plate and there will be a little sticker with like month and then year. So that's the little year tab. Registration fees are based on vehicle type, and then Missouri offers 1 or 2 year registration options. So you could either say, I want to renew on a yearly basis, or by yearly basis. What you do have to bring is proof of insurance, personal property tax receipt. So meaning that you have been paying tax on your car. So that's one thing I know that some people from other countries may be a little unfamiliar with, is that as long as you are in the ownership of a car, every year you still do have to pay property tax on that car and the vehicle that you own, because it is a part of your property. And then let's see. So you have to bring the receipt saying that you have been paying personal property tax, and then the safety and emission inspection certificate if applicable. So I will say a little bit more about this later, because some cars you do not need to for if your car is like less than, I think it's 5 years old, you do not need to provide the emission inspection or safety inspection. So that's something that we'll talk a little bit more. Any questions about this? So 2 steps: if you get a brand new car, or if you get a car in general, not brand new or no, but if you get a car that's new to you, these are 2 important things to do: titling the vehicle and registering your vehicle. Are there any questions before I move on? You can raise your hand in the thing, and then, or if not, I will keep going. Okay. Okay, and then and then this is the next thing. Is if you want to sell a vehicle, or if your license plate gets stolen, or this had happened. One of my friends, like the sticker, the little year tab sticker got stolen. So shockingly, we went out to eat, and then we came out and their car just, the little sticker went away. And what they did is they just drove to our local DMV and got it. And I think it was like $28. There's a fee for it, or maybe $10. I can't remember. There's a fee for those stickers. So, and then basically this person filed a police report saying someone stole their little sticker. Okay. So, but selling a vehicle, or your license plate got stolen, when you sell a vehicle, you have to complete, there's a notice of sale form. I think the Department of Revenue, the Department of Revenue website has that form. You have to complete this, or if you're buying it, you have to have this, make sure that you obtain this from the person, saying that the person really sold it to you. And the Department of Revenue will know you. So you should obtain a copy of this for your own record. If your license plate or the ear tab are stolen, you should report it to the local, so call the police and then go to DMV to get a new one. Okay, so then the Department of Revenue knows that your car, there's been a change in your license plate, because the license plate is an important way of identifying your car. So that's important. Okay, so these are the three important things about chapter 2 is vehicle titles and registration. You know, titling your vehicle, registering your vehicle, and then when you're selling or if your license plate or the tab gets stolen. Are there any questions before I move on to the next chapter? No? Okay, I will keep going. If you have questions, please raise your hand. Chapter 13, mandatory insurance. So driving, like auto insurance. So we'll talk about, these are things that we'll talk about. We'll talk about the um we talk about that all Missouri drivers must have insurance. It's very, very important. You have to have insurance. And when you go to register your car, or every time you renew, you have to show them that your car is insured. You have auto insurance. Okay, so proof of insurance is very, very important, and not having insurance can result in fines and penalties. So that's actually a pretty big thing to remember, especially when you're driving. Nowadays, most insurance have apps and you can have it on your phone. Proof of insurance could be on your phone, but driving without insurance is a very serious thing here. Okay. So proof of insurance, different forms could be the ID card itself. Like I said, you can bring the ID card. So your insurance company will mail it to you usually every 6 months or every year. However, your agreement with them is, so they will mail you a new one, or you can have a copy of it. Like I said, on your app or on your phone, you just have a picture, not taking a picture of it, but be able to download like an electronic soft copy of it. That is issued from your insurance company. And then in some cases, you can have a certificate of self-insurance, meaning that somehow you have other sources of auto insurance that's a part of some other package, which is very rare. Most of the time, people just get auto insurance from a auto insurance company. Okay, so require, again, you need this for to register your vehicle or renew your vehicle. Whenever you're stopped by the police for any reason, you have to show them your insurance, license, and registration. So those are things that we'll ask. So they will say license, insurance, proof of insurance, and car registration. So being able to have proof of insurance is very important. And then renewal, like I said earlier. For the most part, if you're driving without just the proof of insurance, if you're insured, you just don't have the proof of insurance, you will likely get a citation, and then you'll have to go and show it to the court afterwards. Sometimes you get a fine for that, for driving without proof of insurance. So driving without proof of insurance and driving without insurance itself are two very different things. One is that you're not insured, which is a very serious thing. But another thing is you just don't have the proof. Okay, so but just to be on the safe side, always be insured and always have your proof of insurance with you. So I personally keep a hard copy in my glove compartment, and I always make sure that I have an up-to-date soft copy in my phone. And so just to make sure that everything is sorted out. This is a very very small thing that you can take care of to be, to get into any kind of trouble. So we don't want people to get in trouble. So like I said, if you are caught with any kind of basically failing to maintain insurance, it's fines. Your license can be suspended, it's very serious, and then your vehicle registration can be suspended. So very serious thing again. Yeah. Any questions about chapter 13, mandatory auto insurance? Oh, I forgot to say that. So there are two kinds of insurance. One is comprehensive and one is liability. So liability insurance when you have a collision, and it covers things from the other end, the other person that is not you. Comprehensive is you yourself and and the other end, basically other people who are involved in the accident with you. So if you're involved in an accident that's not caused by you, then the other person's insurance will have to basically cover your collision. But if you are the one who is liable for the insurance, then liability insurance covers the other party, and then comprehensive insurance covers you and then the other party. And the police is usually the one who will determine. So at the scene of any auto accident, the police will come and and do a police report, and they will determine whose fault it is and whose responsibility is it. So any question about mandatory insurance before I move on to the next chapter? If you have any questions, you can raise your hand. Right. Okay, I will keep going then. Chapter 14, let's see. Safety and emission inspections. So these inspections ensure that vehicles meet the safety standards and emission requirements. Certain vehicles are exempt from these inspections, but it's important to know that it's important to know the requirement for all vehicles, mostly for your written exam. Okay. So the safety inspection is required for every 2 years. And then if you have a new vehicle, you're exempt for, let's see, what did my slide say? For the first 5 years. So new vehicle meaning not new to you, but newly manufactured. So if your car, so my car, let me use my car. So my car is a 2019 car. So up until 2019 plus 5, so 2024. So this is the last year that I would not have to provide a safety inspection when I go and renew. But after this year, every time I renew, I will have to go and get inspected. And so in the state of Missouri, every wherever there's a garage or car place that does safety inspection, you'll see a little sign on their door that says they are licensed or they're certified by the state to perform this safety inspection. It's not every single place that you go that does that. So you have to keep an eye out for it. I had a picture on this slide. I don't know what happened to it, but it is in your it is in the driver's guide. There's a sign that you can look out for. And so new vehicle, newly manufactured vehicle up to 5 years is exempt. So not new to you again. So if you bought a car that's like 2005, then even if it's new to you, you still have to get it inspected every time you want to get it renewed. Okay. So these are the things, I mean, for you to know, but these are the things that they will look for. They will look for brakes and lights and steering, suspensions, tire, windshield wiper, and horn. So very basic things. They're not looking for very trivial things. These are very basic safety things for you. And the emission, most of the newer cars pass the emission test in the state of Missouri. So the state of Missouri doesn't have a very, very super strict comparing to my home state of California.
Quick question.
Yes.
Please, what do you mean by suspension?
Where?
Under the inspection.
Oh, your brakes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
brakes,
your
lights, steering, suspension.
No, brakes, it's like how well your car brake works. I think that's what car suspensions do.
Okay.
Like if you press your brake and your car doesn't stop very well, or like there is a way, I think the thickness of your brake pads and the thickness of this other rotor or something. So that's what that means. So it's like it's a car part thing, I think has to do with brakes. I want to think that. Yeah, but this is what the manual say it looks for. Or maybe it brakes is what brakes mean. I don't know. I think suspension has to do with brakes if my memory serves right. Someone can Google it and help me. Yeah, Jessica, Google it. Since Jessica, were you the one who asked the question? I can't see who asked the question. Were you the one who asked this question?
Yes, that was me.
Can you Google and see what suspension means in the car? And then
okay, I'll do that.
We'll come back to you. Okay, but again, this list is not anything like super trivial. It's like very basic safety things. So see, if your brakes fail, if your lights fail, steering doesn't work, like your car is not safe to be on the road to be driving. Okay. Okay. Jessica, did you find out what suspension is? It has to do with brake, yeah, no?
I'm still checking.
Okay, you're still checking. All right, we'll come back to you after this next like emission. So emission inspection are essential equipments for essential part of are good for our environment basically. And so for Missouri, for the state of Missouri, I think they will test for your emission system to make sure that it meets the environmental standard issued by the state, as there's no federal requirement. It's a state on the state level. So if your car fails, then you have to repair that in order for it to pass this pass the emission. But like I said, I think I can't remember what year it is, but most cars, newer cars, would have no problem passing this because the manufacturer would already have met the requirement. Okay, Jessica, did you find out about suspension?
Yes, I did from
Okay.
Wikipedia.
Okay, what does Wikipedia tell us about
So suspension is the system of tires, tire air springs, shock absorbers, and linkages that connect a vehicle to its wheels and allows relative motion between the two. Suspension systems must support both road holding, handling, and ride quality, which are at odds with each other. The
so many
tuning of
people are helping us.
suspension involves, you got so many answers from
Yeah. Okay, so basically, thank you, Jessica, and thank you, Vicky and Milan. Yeah, I hope I say your name right. So suspension is the spring that reduces the impacts from the uneven road on the car. Oh, so it's not brakes. I was wrong. Sorry. So suspension, tire helps you basically, I guess, yeah, not bounce around as much in uneven roads. Yeah. So I was right. Oh, thank you. So I think when you have suspension, now I remember, I think when you look at those like car commercials, they always show this spring looking thing. So I guess when you're sitting in cars like on uneven surfaces, you don't feel the up and down as much. So important also for cars. So good. Thanks everyone. All right, crowdsourcing is great. Okay, so we'll continue. So every vehicle, so required equipment, every vehicle must have essential equipment, so a part of your car, or parts, I guess, such as tail lights, headlights, tail lights, brake, seat belt, and mirrors. And so these are things that should really function very well in your car. Specific requirement could vary on different vehicle types. So always make sure that these things work, right? Headlights and tail lights, very important for people to see you. Brakes, and then seat belts and mirrors. I will say that like myself, I like to just keep my headlights and tail lights on auto, so I don't forget to turn them on, because you can get pulled over at night when your headlight's not on. And then someone made a comment to me one time where I guess I probably did something and accidentally turned my headlight off at night, and this person told me that I thought it was really like a new perspective that I never thought about. But they're like, oh wow, like there's so many cars on the road, and everywhere in the evening is very well lit on the streets here, so it's very hard sometimes for you to know that your headlights are not on until a police pulls you over or another car is honking at you to tell you. So that's something to keep in mind, is just always making sure but also when you just go into your car, to make sure the headlight, tail light, brakes, seat belts, super important, and the mirrors are all working properly for you. Okay. There are different requirements. So commercial vehicles like buses or trailers or different things will have different requirements, but safety standards must be met for your car to pass all the inspections and safety inspections in order for the titling and renewal to happen. Okay. Very quickly. See, I told you this session is very fast. Chapter 15 is about commercial vehicles. So in the case that any of you want to become a truck driver or a bus driver, or if you would, so for some departments, actually, I learned that for some departments, you have the options to drive like bigger vehicles like mini buses or buses to help with your department field trips. So these are special requirements that are necessary for commercial. Those are commercial vehicles, okay? This chapter will include, and if you read your manual, it includes definitions and the different classifications of vehicles, licensing requirements, restorations fees based on the weight and the zone, and special safety and inspection requirements. So we'll kind of fly through this a little bit, but just good for you to know in case in the future you need this information. So so commercial drivers must have a commercial driver's license. So it's not the same as our regular, not regular, but our kind of our license, the other kind of license, a non-commercial license. There are different categories of the commercial driver's license depending on the vehicle type and weight. So if you have a commercial license for buses, you cannot be driving a big semi truck. Okay, those are two different licensing that you need. So the physical type and weight. And obtaining those licenses is like obtaining this license. You need to know the skills and pass the test for the specific vehicle that you plan to operate. And so should anyone want to do it, there are other additional resources for it. Let's see. It's again, registration and fees are based on the different vehicles and types. Usually the fees are higher for heavier vehicles. And then in order to do this, you take the test, you submit the applications and different documents and pay the fees. Very similar to this license that you're trying, the non-commercial license that you're trying to get. And then let's see. And then safety inspection and requirements for commercial vehicles, same thing as non-commercial vehicles, annual inspections. And then there are additional inspection items. There are more details for commercial vehicles, mostly because number one, they are open to commercial, so more general public will have access to them, or that they will be carrying more things. And for example, like big pickup trucks, they would be carrying more things, and so they're higher risk than your little, sedan, right? So they have more specific inspection items that they need to meet. And that is it. See, very, very, very quick and easy today. I do want to thank you for your time. I know that these are like just a lot of information in the last 3 days plus today, 4 day. Abigail, if you can share the attendance, that would be great. And I also want to thank you for reading through all my daily emails. I know that every day I communicate a lot of things. Today's email, please, it's very important. I communicated a few different things pertaining the time. A few of you have been emailing about time and how to sign up for the driving lessons. And so please see my email today. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I do try to respond as quickly as possible, but there are lots and lots of emails. And so if you have not heard from me, please be patient, and I will make sure I respond to everybody accordingly. But do you have any questions, thoughts, ideas? Yeah, thank you so much for joining. And I look forward to seeing some of you in our in the driving lessons, and look forward to seeing all of you at our celebration potluck. So mark your calendar for that. It's always a good time. So I think it's on the 28th. Abby, 28th? Yeah, 28th. So on the 28th, I look forward to seeing all of you, and then yeah. Thank you again. I'll hang around for another 5 minutes if you have any questions. Yes, and really shout out to my team. They have really put in Mizzou 2 leadership team has put in a lot of work and time, and so great job, my team as well. But thank you so much for your time, and I'll hang around for another 5 minutes. If you have any questions, you could unmute yourself and let me know. Thoughts, questions?